Hey there. Good morning. After a rough start to September, US equity futures seem to be stabilizing, but I think investors are remaining jumpy. At least I'm jumpy following a notable sell off in Tuesday's session. The Dow shed about 250 points and the S&P 500 dropped nearly 0.7%, while the Nasdaq lost around 0.8%, with the tech sector leading the retreat. This marks a reversal from the summer rally and puts the market on guard, as September historically marks one of the most volatile months for Wall Street. Tech stocks are in the spotlight after Alphabet avoided the harshest outcomes in an antitrust case. How I wish I had my Google shares. Anyway, Google shares soared over 7% in after hours, providing some buoyancy to the battered tech sector, though big names like NVDA are still under pressure from cooling AI hype and sold-out chip narratives. Bond yields are pushing higher, with the 30-year Treasury approaching the 5% threshold for the first time since July. Rising yields are intensifying the challenge for equities, particularly for high valuation tech stocks. Ongoing tariff and Fed independence worries are rattling investor confidence as courts continue to weigh landmark tariff challenges and debates swirl around political influence at the central bank. And one of those things is being reflected in gold. As DXY has been going up for the last 2 days, we have also seen gold going up, which is not a common phenomenon. I've made a special video about this. It's going to release at around 9 o'clock. Please check that out, in which I have given a new gold target. It is broken out of the bullish pennant, and also the reasons why this is happening. Check it out and let me know what you think about it. That said, caution and persistent risks are the theme now. Investors are bracing for this Friday's crucial job report, which looks set to determine the next move for the Fed and whether rate cuts are still on the table. A rise in treasury yields combined with persistent inflation pressures and the prospects of more legal and policy surprises adds to the backdrop of uncertainties facing the markets. At the global level, inflation is running hotter than forecast, and several reports show that corporate and consumer spending are losing momentum heading into the fall. Now, let us look at the big picture. I think the big picture is starting to indicate a kind of risk-off sentiment, with September kicking off amid legal, regulatory, and macroeconomic clouds. The mood has turned risk-off. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq are set to open a little bit volatile as investors weigh near-term economic releases against lingering structural risk, rising rates, trade policy drama, and a persistently vigilant Fed. So I'm thinking that while a surgeon is very careful and looks at how to lay out the patient, how to mark the area of the surgery, make the smallest cut possible, and go directly to the spot that needs repairs, fix it up, and quickly stitch it up. That's how surgical precision and surgical delicacy works. The way Trump is going about managing the economy and the government, it seems like it's a butcher at work. So let us see what's going to happen. I think that's a way I can animate my thoughts about what is happening with the economy and why I'm a bit worried. And I have been bearish for almost 3 months now, and my bearish bets are starting to yield some results starting yesterday. I don't know if it's going to persist because markets are unpredictable. With that said, let's go and have a look at what's happening in the price charts. So here we are looking at our price chart, and let me put myself also into the picture so that you can see me working out the details. S&P 500 futures. Hi, Inf, and hi, Hot Dog. Good morning to both of you. I just saw you out here. And it's evening for Hot Dog, so it's a good day to all of you. S&P 500 futures, these are one-day candles, and S&P 500 futures are up 0.45% in the pre-market. And you can see a kind of bull flag forming out here. We have to see what's going to happen as the market opens, because many times these pre-market actions are not indicative of what exactly will happen when the market opens. So I wouldn't read too much into this, but overall market sentiment is bearish. MACD is bearish, but it has mended compared to yesterday. It's tending towards the signal line to cross over to the bullish side, but it has plenty of way to go. And our momentum is still below average and flat. So we'll have to see what happens when the market opens. And then you look at NASDAQ. Oh, before that, let me say one more thing. Many people would look at a head and shoulder pattern out here, but I'm not very comfortable doing that because I'm more comfortable with the head and shoulder pattern, which is horizontal, where the shoulders are below the head. So with this kind of a setup, ideally, what would happen is you would have a neckline coming out here, and then we can probably extrapolate and put it somewhere around 6,447. But we have to see what happens to this bull flag that has formed. And this is the diagonal line of support, which is the neckline. If we break down below this, then I think we'll have some action in place, or else this head and shoulder would be a waste. So that said, let's go on to NASDAQ. Same story out here. We have a bull flag forming. We have a support out here at around 23,426. And if this support holds, we can go up further. If this breaks down, then we go down further, and then we can do a head and shoulder pattern and see where it goes. Again, market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, and momentum is just below average. Dollar index, as I mentioned, continues to move upwards. It was moving upwards when I made the gold video, which is scheduled for release at 9 o'clock. Right now, it has become neutral, and our yields continue to go up. The 20-year yields were up, and now they have become neutral. 10-year yields were up. They continue to be up right now. And the 30-year, which was tending towards 5, has come down by 0.04%. So a little bit of adjustments happening out here. On the Canadian front, I think we are looking pretty decent. We are not following the US 5-year. So we have some kind of a support out here, somewhere around 2.929. And if we, sorry about that, and if we break down below that 2.929, then I think there's a good opportunity for the 5-year Canadian bonds to fall down, which is very important because then the 5-year fixed mortgage for Canadians will go down. Right now, renewals are available at around 3.99%, which is still high in my opinion because of the rate at which earlier mortgages were booked, which are going to come up for renewal. Even at 3.99, people are almost paying twice as much mortgage as they paid earlier when they bought the property. So the strain still remains. So I'm looking forward to us breaking down below 2.929 for the 5-year Canadian bond. And then that will boost the Canadian economy, and we'll see something good happening out in Canada. That said, let's go on and have a look at indicators and see where the indicators are. So if you look at the indicators out here, these are all the 3-minute chart. And I'm looking at the 3-minute chart out here. I'm sorry, I think I mistook the 3-minute chart to be a 1-day chart for the S&P 500 futures. We'll check that out in the end. But this is the 3-minute chart, and we are up 0.6. We are down 0.69% as of yesterday. But this morning, I think we are up because we saw the futures showing that we are going up. So we are likely to open above 6429, which was the support that we had before, which became a resistance. Let me quickly move on to the 1-day chart so that we don't make a mess of this whole thing. And in the 1-day chart, you will see a head and shoulder pattern forming, and we closed out somewhere around 6416.87, and we had a resistance at 6429.66, which I think is going to become a support for today, because in the futures we saw that we were already up instead of being down. So I think that our support will hold for today at 6427.79 if we open above that. And we'll have to see how the market proceeds. Again, market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, and momentum is just tending towards average, and it has dropped significantly. If it continues the downward direction and goes below average, then I wouldn't believe things are going to go better. And then Sandeep, do not watch anything when you are in the car. You have to focus on driving. And I wouldn't like that to happen, that you get into an accident or something. So this is not important. And we are, again, a retail investor channel, not an expert doing all the analysis. just don't do anything in the car. Nasdaq is also going down, and we have the head and shoulder pattern out here. Somehow we managed to break out above the neckline that we had plotted earlier, and we had a resistance at 23,270.73. And I think that this is going to be the support today, because in the Nasdaq futures we saw that we were opening positive. So if we open positive, this will be the support, and the resistance will be somewhere around 23,609. And from there we could bounce back down again. The overall market sentiment is bearish, and MACD is also bearish, continuing to be bearish. Momentum is also below average and dropping. And if we go on to VIX, VIX is above the support of around 15.94, and this morning VIX has opened flat. So there is a lot of indecision, I think, in the market, and pre-market participants are trying to think that buy the dip is going to work again, and they are buying. Whether it works or not is something that we'll see when the market opens. Gold is up 0.37%, and it's moving towards the target that we have set for it based on the bullish pennant and the bull flag out here, the flagpole. So you can watch out the gold video dropping at 9 o'clock for all the details. QQQ is up 0.67% in pre-market trading, and we still have a resistance at 575.71. Right now we are at 569.70. So this is the action for QQQ, and put call ratio is almost neutral at 0.91. And I'm going to look at AI. NVDA is up 0.49% in pre-market trades, and we have resistance at 174.04 and support at 166.32. Overall sentiment is still bearish. MACD is bearish. Momentum is also below average. Meta is up 0.72%, and it has gone above the line of resistance we had at 736.65. Right now we are at 740.39. So 736.45 is going to perform the role of support, and our resistance is likely to be at 756.95 for Meta. Google has dodged the antitrust case for breakup, and therefore there's a lot of enthusiasm for Google. Google has gone up 5.34% in pre-market trades, and it has gone above our price target of around 221.34, and right now it's at 223.19. I think the support for us is going to be 213.55. Next, let's look at Amazon. Amazon is up 0.12% in pre-market trades, trying to do a gap fill out here. And if the gap fill happens, I think we have a resistance at 229.13. MACD is bearish. Momentum is also just about average, and overall market sentiment for Amazon is bearish. Apple is up 3.75%. Support continues to be at 223.15. Market sentiment is bullish for Apple. MACD is bearish, and momentum is pretty strong. So I think our resistance for today is going to be 234.56. Microsoft is down 0.27%. My MSFT bet is still working out for me. We have a support at 498.08. Right now we are at 403.70 in pre-market, and our resistance is 514.72. Tesla is also looking pretty decent. We had a resistance at 329.79. Right now Tesla is at 334.18. So our resistance now becomes a support at 329.79. And our next resistance is going to be at 352.80. Oracle is up 0.31% in pre-market trades. Support for today is at 219.75. And resistance is going to be 227.63. That said, AMD is up 0.22%, and we have a resistance at 163.77, and we have a support at around 157.16, and we can see that AMD is at 162.68 this morning. And I think I've already finished NVIDIA Inf, and if you're in the car, please just stop the videos, don't watch anything, reach your destination safely. Then we have SMCI, which is up 0.81%. We have support at 38.96. We have resistance at 42.94. That's going to be the resistance for today. And we still have the bear flag target, which takes us all the way to 33.36. And right now, we are creating the flagpole for the next bear flag. And any movement upward, I think, will constitute towards the flag itself and then movement downwards. And we have a bearish market sentiment, bearish MACD, and momentum, which is below average for SMCI. Overall, I think the SMCI overall, I think, is in a very bearish situation, and NVDA and AMD might change the fortunes of this ETF. Broadcom is up 0.06%. It's not much. Support continues to be at 291.39. Resistance continues to be at 303.29. Palantir is up 0.66% in pre-market trades. I am seeing a bear flag, which is trying to break out on the downside, but there is a whole lot of consolidation happening out here. Palantir is a very strong share and it's got very strong market sentiment, but you can see a shoulder ahead and another shoulder. So if we break down below 144.92, I think we'll be in trouble. Overall market sentiment is bearish, and we have got MACD also, which is bearish, tending towards the signal line to cross over to the bullish side. Momentum is below average and flat, not looking that great right now. And let's go on to Tempus AI. Tempus AI is up 0.87%, and it's done a lot of consolidation out here. If this is a bullish pennant, I think the probability of breaking out on the upside is much higher than breaking out on the lower side. But overall, what happens to the market might end up influencing Tempus AI. Just want to take a quick look at Rigetti. Rigetti is up 0.52% this morning, 0.45% this morning, and it's at 15.49. And therefore, the resistance for today is going to be 15.83. I'm going to mark this red so that it can show that it's a resistance. And support will be somewhere around 13.87. Now, let's go on and have a look at Genomics. In Genomics, we have Prime, which is up 2.24%, still continuing to be in the bull flag. And our flagpole is pretty long, and therefore I have not yet thrown in the towel on this. I'm still hoping this could break out on the upside. Intelia is up 0.88%, and it's converted a resistance of 11.31 into a support. And we have a support, we have a resistance at 12.28. Caribou Biosciences is up 1.06%. Our support continues to be at around 1.87 today. Right now we are at 1.90. The resistance will be at 2.02. Beam is up 2.02 and 2.02%, and resistance is 17.43. Support is going to be 15.04. Right now we are at 16.64. Altimmune is up 0.53%, riding this bear channel. And we have seen two moves up here. This could be double bottom, and we could plot something. I'll work this out in the next session, but we are starting to look something positive in the Altimmune space. Editas is up 1.62%, but we still have resistance today at 2.58. Right now we're at 2.51. I'm marking this as a resistance out here. And then Illumina is down 0.37%. It has fallen below this diagonal line of support, and it's a resistance today at 98.54. Let me mark that as a resistance. And our support for today is going to be 93.27. And let's look at CRISPR Therapeutics, which is up 0.74%. Our support earlier was 53.26. Right now in pre-market, we are at 53.05. Therefore, I'm marking this as a resistance. So the first resistance is at around 53.26. 53.21 is the resistance, and our support for today is going to be 47.42. Allogene is flat in pre-market trades. Grail is up 0.44 in pre-market trade, and it's still below a resistance of 32.06. Right now it's at 31.75. So I would say that 32.06 is the resistance for us out here. PACB is up 0.78%. It's still got support at 1.21, and I think it will have a resistance at 1.34. ARCG is up 0.44% in pre-market trades, and it's going to have support at 24.66. Right now it's at 24.91. And Vertex is starting to move up a little bit. It's up 0.01%. We had a target for Vertex to touch 425.77, but I am not sure we are going to reach that. Let us see how things proceed for today. Ginkgo Bioworks is still in the bull flag. It's up 3.81%. That's a good sign. This flagpole is still long, so I'm not throwing in the towel yet, but sentiment is bearish. MACD is also super bearish, and momentum is below average. Let's see what happens when the market opens, but it's not starting to look good. So I'll have to cut my losses and sell my shares. So let me see whether I plan to do it today or not. So that said, I want to look at Precision. Precision continues its moves up. I still have 250 of it still remaining with me. I think it has got the possibility to consolidate. I could buy another 250 and then it may move upwards. And if you look at Eli Lilly, had bought Lilly earlier and it's doing very well. It's moving towards the center of the regression channel. So as soon as it comes to the center of the regression channel, I'll have to be extra alert. It could either move up or it could be pushed down. So I'll check that out when the time comes and I'll keep you informed. And then the other one I want to look at is RAD. RAD is starting to move out of reach. And if the FDA says that they're happy with their manufacturing facility and that they have met the objections that FDA had about the laboratories, then I think it's all clear for RAD. It could jump up significantly. So today I might try to buy maybe 25 or 30 shares of RAD, or maybe 50 shares of RAD, breaking out into 2 installments. I want to hold 100 at the end of the day. So I'll make it into 2 installments so that I can do some dollar cost averaging. So with that said, I think I've come to an end of this video today. And if you guys have any question, please ask me now, or else I'm ready to go for breakfast and start the day. Thanks, friends. Have a great day. I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Watch out for my 9 o'clock video on gold. Bye.